The Galaxy S24 changed my perspective on compact flagship smartphones. While last year I came from the S24 Ultra, tested the S24 and fell in love with it, this time around I have deliberately chosen the vanilla Galaxy S25 over the Plus and Ultra models, and I have to say how dearly I missed the compact form factor of the Galaxy S24. I mean, after basically using the Galaxy S24 last year for about 3 months, I went back to the OnePlus 12, then the OnePlus Open, and now more recently to the OnePlus 13. And while I loved the battery improvements, especially on my recently tested device, the OnePlus 13, as I said, I really missed using a compact flagship phone like the Galaxy S24. And so here's the Galaxy S25. I have some thoughts about it, and this right here is without a doubt the best flagship phone money can buy right now, according to me. Of course, you have to live with a few shortcomings if you go with this phone, and that's what we are here to talk about in this video. So what is new, what has improved, and who should really buy the Galaxy S25? I tell you in the full review of this phone only on Fiiber by India Today. Design-wise, yes, nothing much has changed on the Galaxy S25 or the Galaxy S24, but is it a bad thing? Because honestly, this is the most comfortable compact phone to use. I mean, yes, in the name of compact flagships, there is the Xiaomi 14, there's the iPhone 16, there's the 16 Pro also, but none of those phones are as slim and as light and have the in-hand feel like the Galaxy S25. In fact, until the Galaxy S25 Edge comes, this will be the slimmest flagship phone around. I mean, this one is even slimmer than the Galaxy S24, and it is so much better than it. I also love this year's color options too. I think the icy blue shade looks classy, but that navy blue shade is something else. Now, for what it's worth, the camera rings at the back is one of the ways you can tell apart the Galaxy S25 from the S24. But overall, this phone is light, it is slim, it is comfortable to use. The most comfortable phone to use with one hand in my opinion. Clicky buttons and IP68 rating, and the trusted ultrasonic fingerprint scanner is still here, of course. So a big thumbs up for the Galaxy S25 when it comes to the design and build. Now, display wise too, we still have the dynamic AMOLED 2X display with the 2600 nits peak brightness along with Gorilla Glass Victus 2 protection. One thing I really wish Samsung could have added is the anti-reflective coating with the Gorilla Armor Glass 2nd generation that is also there on the S25 Ultra. But then again, something I noticed while using the S25 outdoors was that the screen is so bright. To test this, I took out my OnePlus 13, which has a peak brightness of 4500 nits, but side by side with the S25, the Samsung's flagship phone appeared brighter. Just see it side by side and tell me if you can also tell the difference. So while brightness numbers look great on paper, real world performance matters, and in the real world, the S25 still looks to me as one of the best and brightest mobile displays around. With the super brightness setting enabled, the brightness while watching videos looks great even under harsh sunlight. Other than this, the display has wideband L1 support. It also supports HDR10 content, and with the loud sounding stereo speakers, movies, games, or even reels look great on this display. As always, the AMOLED panel of this phone is sharp, contrasty, and vibrant as ever. Probably the biggest upgrade in the Galaxy S25 is the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip, which coupled with 12GB RAM and One UI 7 software delivers a seamless user experience. Samsung is also claiming that this year they have added a 15% larger vapor chamber cooling system compared to the S24, of course to fend off heating issues if any. The best part is the fact that I'm happy to report the S25 doesn't get uncomfortably hot even when it is pushed to the limits. In fact, one of my complaints with the Galaxy S24 was that the phone used to get hot when connected to Android Auto, but this one, while it does get warm, but again, it never overheats. Okay, look at some benchmark scores, and clearly there's a big performance jump in terms of numbers between the S24's Exynos 2400 chip and the S25's Snapdragon 8 Elite chip. And the solid benchmark scores reflect in the real world performance as well. RAM management is also another thing where I've noticed the S25 can hold so many apps in the background, and at times even games right where I left them. something that wasn't the case with the S24 and its 8GB RAM. I mean, while the S24 with its 8GB RAM capacity is fine in its own right, the 12GB RAM on the S25 definitely helps here, and this was a long time coming. But general stuff too, from doom scrolling on Instagram to playing Call of Duty Mobile to simply juggling between apps, everything flies on the Galaxy S25. Opening apps, general animations and all of that stuff is buttery smooth. One UI 7 is clean, polished and loaded with customization options and offers a bunch of AI features, which again is something you can appreciate beyond the buzzword when you use it. So One UI 7's generative edit feature is hands down the best among all other phone manufacturers' AI solutions. Audio Eraser is not a gimmick, and it is one of the best features that lets you get rid of background disturbances in videos shot in noisy environments. Circle to search is still one of my most used features, and it can now recognize music tracks too. AI Select is another handy feature that I've been using a lot to translate text from different languages on the screen to English and Hindi. Now, the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip not only contributes to the superb software performance or say the gaming performance or say the overall smoothness of the device, it also contributes to the superior camera performance. Okay, hardware-wise, we are pretty much looking at what we had with the S24. So a 50 megapixel primary sensor, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, a 10 megapixel telephoto sensor with a 3x optical zoom and a 12 megapixel selfie camera. But courtesy of the new chip, you get an improved ISP and also some new features with the S25's camera, such as smoother lens switching while recording videos and the new zoom slider thanks to the next generation Pro Visual Engine. The Expert RAW mode also gets a few settings that may appeal to professionals, including 2 exposure monitoring controls, a couple of ND filter strengths and a virtual aperture meter to adjust the depth of blur in real time. But coming to photos, and if you have generally liked Samsung's approach to color science, you will be quite impressed here. Of course, photos captured in daylight are nice and vibrant, have good dynamic range, and the HDR performance is great. But also something that I noticed over the S24's camera performance is that photos shot on the S25 appear more detailed, and the color tones, especially the human skin tones, is also closer to accurate. Portrait mode is another area where Samsung flagships continue to impress, and the S25 is no different in this regard. The ultra-wide lens and telephoto lenses also perform well in most conditions, and the best part is that color consistency across the 3 lenses is pretty good. There's very little disparity between the lenses. The S25's camera also performs admirably well during low light. It does a fine job of brightening up the scene without making it look artificial. Now, sometimes I did notice a halo sort of effect around bright lights, which sort of looks like the light is beaming out of the subject. In this case, look at the Omax text. But apart from this slight issue, the night photos overall look quite good. Similarly, selfies look great as well, with sharp details and close to accurate human skin tones, be it for portrait or general selfies. Granted, 12 megapixel resolution doesn't sound huge compared to say a 32 megapixel resolution or OnePlus 13's selfie shooter, but rest assured the S25 is one of the best high-end phones for clicking selfies. This right here is the rear-facing video sample being shot on the Galaxy S25 in 4K 60 FPS. By the way, this phone can also shoot HDR videos from both the front and rear camera, but this is not the HDR video because that video is meant to be seen on HDR screens. But this right here is the general video sample, 4K 60 FPS. What do you think about the quality? Because to me the colors look great, HDR performance on point, stabilization is on point. In fact, lens switching is also very smooth. Bhavesh, if you can please just show an example. So 1x to 3x, there is also the option of 0.6x. So I think so the S25 does a very good job with the video stabilization, with the overall video quality. But what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. And next up is the selfie video. This right here is the front-facing video sample being shot on the Galaxy S25 in 4K 60 FPS. As you can see, the phone is doing a pretty good job. As you can see, the HDR performance is quite good right against the sun, and my face is properly exposed. But overall also the colors look quite vibrant, stabilization is on point, details are also quite good. But most importantly, what do you think about the overall quality? Let me know in the comments. Quickly before the verdict, summing up the endurance bit, and yes, the S25 has the same 4000 mAh battery capacity as the S24, but this time around I can at least say that I can use this phone for a full day before it discharges. which was not the case with the S24. I mean, I had to constantly charge the S24 twice a day on most days, which is not the case with the S25. Of course, a bigger battery overall, or maybe a silicon carbon battery, would have provided better endurance, but for now the chipset's efficiency and optimization are definitely doing the work here. In my use case scenarios, I have even managed to hit 7 hours plus in many instances, while other days where I moderately use the phone, I've consistently hit 4 to 5 hours of screen on time, which easily gets the phone's battery through our day. So my decision to outright choose the Galaxy S25 as my daily phone over the likes of, say, the OnePlus 13 and the S25 Ultra has been a pleasant experience. Granted, it doesn't have the S25 Ultra's S Pen or the size and the battery life of the OnePlus 13, but if you have ever heard of the term they say in Hindi, chota packet bada dhamaka, well, this phone is that chota packet bada dhamaka. So over the Galaxy S24, it improves in key areas such as raw performance, better RAM management, improved thermals, better camera, better endurance, all in a package that is sleek, light and familiar. Had a new design made it better? Yes. Maybe a bigger battery in favor of increased thickness? Maybe yes. But for what it's worth, if you're someone who wants a compact phone and out and out flagship device, this small high-end device would definitely appeal to you. Write down in the comments what you think about the Galaxy S25. Fiiber rates it a solid 8 out of 10. For now, it is me signing off. I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you for watching.